So typically this time of year, end of season, you get your boats out the water, you jet them off, and this is typical of what happens to boats that have been left in the water all season. So they get this sort of brown effect. So we've gone already and scraped this so that there's no more barnacles here. And obviously the anti-foul has done some sort of vague job, but it hasn't protected the whiteness of the gel coat. And if we look all the way around the boat, it's all the same. And do you know what? It just doesn't look nice. So how do you get that off? You can. I know that some people they get scrapers, they get anything abrasive, and they rub and rub and rub, and eventually they'll get that muck off. However, let me show you a little trick. I've put some acid in a little bucket here. I better put some gloves on because it is acid. Let me quickly pop this on, and I'll tell you, this is magic. And at the end of this process, I'll tell you what the acid is, because you might as well go and buy it from where I tell you to buy it from. Not that we're sponsored by these guys, I hasten to add, but it works a treat. So nothing more than this. Pop it on, and we will just leave that. I'll just do one side of the boat, and you'll see what happens. Now there's nothing to it. Not a great deal of effort I'm putting into it. I'm not rubbing anything down. Just going to leave that. And while that's happening, I'll just do the rest of this side of the boat. Anything that's sort of got this brown tinge to it, I'll pop this on, and with a bit of luck, you'll see a difference. Just have to be a bit careful with this acid. It's not particularly pleasant to get it on your hands. It's not going to kill you, but it's not nice either. So always wear gloves. Should really be wearing goggles as well, but I'm being careful. So that's it. I've not particularly tried. It usually takes 2 or 3 attempts at getting it completely clear. And we're back in the room. So 2 or 3 minutes on. If you now have a look down here, it's not gone perfect just yet. But if you compare one side to the other, pull back a bit, you'll see that it is, with very little effort apart from a soft sponge. And we'll walk around the side of the boat as well. We can see that it's starting to brighten up. Look, it's going. And I've not rubbed it or anything. Look, it's still wet with the acid. So, look, the bow's coming up quite well. So I'll just carry on and put a little bit more acid on, and literally I'm not rubbing it, I'm just putting it on with a soft brush. 10 minutes have now passed. So let's have a look. If you look now, okay, look, it's not perfect, guys, but we could be doing this for another half an hour or so yet. But I just wanted to demonstrate to you how simple this is. I've just used a simple bit of acid, a brush, and I've not even rubbed it very hard. In fact, if I'd rubbed it hard, all these bristles would have been broken by now. So look, you can see. If I give it a little wipe down, look. Wipe it off. And with very little effort, guys and girls, this is coming up almost as good as new. And down the sides here, just give it a little wipe. What do we think? What do you think? It's coming up a treat, isn't it? Okay, there's some little blemishes here. We'll do a bit more work on those bits, but as I said, I'm just demonstrating to you how simple it is to actually, with a very little effort, is to get your boat to look as good as it was when you put it in the water at the start of the season. Now look, end of the season, this has taken me 10 minutes. 10 minutes, and I've used the roughest piece of equipment I've used is this cloth. Now, how straightforward and easy is that? Let me show you what I've used. This is the stuff. It is acid. You can get this in B&Q in the UK, B&Q. Brick cleaner. Make sure it's got a picture of acid on the back, because basically this is oxalic acid. Nothing more and less than that. Standard building product. In fact, even better than that, it doesn't have a picture of a boat on it, which means that this whole pot is about 10 quid. That's 5 litres. This is enough to do about 4 boats. Or your boat for another 4 seasons. Just be careful with it, but you can see the results. They talk for themselves. And I am from B&Q.